So good evening. Here present all my teachers and my friends. I am Moindam Chatterjee. I am presenting environmental science presentation. The topic is silica plastic blocks. Um, Come to the next slide, please. So here are the contents. That is introduction, history of invention, definition, the making process, advantages, disadvantages, future scope, and the conclusion. Come to the next page. So, introduction. Silica plastic bricks or say blocks. The India accounts for 10% world production in casting and forging industry, of which the carbon dust and residue from the recycled waste forms nearly 4.3 million metric tons of dump waste, proving to be a huge environmental hazard. Adding to that, the mixed plastic dumping by the hospitals, industry, and the society at large, which end up in the landfills cropping up every few kilometers across major cities. The silica plastic blocks, or say SP, attempt to confirm this mounting problem one brick at a time. Come to the next page. So here the history. The India-based company that is Rhino Machines has launched the silica plastic blocks in 2020 in collaboration with R plus D Labs, which is the research wings of the architectural firm R plus D Studio. The silica plastic blocks project start with the clear mandate of doing zero waste from the sand reclamation plant in Rhino Machines foundry plant. In the initial stage, the experiments are conducted by the using foundry dust in cement bonded fly ash bricks. Here, 7 to 10% waste has been recycled, and clay bricks. Here, 15% waste recycled. The above experiment additionally required the use of natural resources such as cement, fertile soil, and water. The amount of natural resources consumed in the process was not justified by the waste it was able to recycle. Come to the next page. That is the definition. The silica plastic blocks, a sustainable building bricks that is made from recycling foundry dust and or say sand waste, that is 80%, and the mixed plastic waste, that is 20%. We can see the diagram of these silica plastic blocks. 80% foundry dust mixed with 20% mixed plastic. Then come to the next. Making process. The making process. First of all, plastic shredding process. Then come to sand collecting. Then pre-mixing sand and plastics. Heating and mixing. Then mold collecting and wetting. The compression and shaping. And then cooling. And then it is ready to use. So in the process of making these bricks, firstly, the plastic waste from the different housing society has been collected and stored in the raw material stockhouse. Then these plastic waste are cut into the small pieces by the cutting machines in the production unit. This process is known as plastic shredding. We can see the plastic shredding process in the next slide, please. Yeah. Here, the plastics are put into the machine, in the cutting machine. Then we can see the image of the shredded plastics, which are properly shredded and stored in a bucket. Then come to the next slide. So similarly, waste sand or say foundry dust has been collected from the different sand casting and mold making industry. So here we can see the foundry dust. So what is this foundry dust? The foundry dust is mainly collected from the sand casting industry. So we know that to making a new mold or any mold, we use the sand as a as a uh, you can say as a structure to make the mold. So we can use this sand many times. Then after that, it is become hazardous. So if we throw this sand to the soil, then the soil become acidified due to the effect of this. So this is a hazardous matter that polluted the soil. So here we collect this foundry dust. Come to the next slide. Yeah. Then the said plastics and the foundry dust are pre-mixed properly. So here we can see that the foundry dust and the shaded plastic put in a drum, then locked up. Then one person that mixing this sand and shaded plastics in a drum by rolling it with a sap, and we can see the pre-mixed up sand and the plastics here in the right side of the page. Then come to the next page. Please come to the next page. Yeah. Then 70 to 80% of the foundry get mixed with 30 to 20% plastics. The temperature of 200 to 202. Please show me the previous diagram. Sorry, page. Yeah, thank you. So at the temperature of 200 to 250 degree of centigrade, then we heat that mixture and melt it. So this is mixing process. Come to the next slide. Please come to the next slide. Yeah. In that, the screw, we have the mixture of plastic and sand, which we mixed in the dam, goes in the screw, where it is heat about 20 to 250 degrees centigrade. The entry is from one side, and from other side comes out a pulp-like mixture. So here in this screw, the pre-mixed up plastics and sand are enter to the machine that heats up this mixture and making the mold. Come to the next presentation page. Yeah, it is the heating process. The you can see the mold. Hello, can you hear me?
Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So in this machine, the shaded plastics, the foundry dust are heating up and make the structure like mold, and comes out from the outside. Uh, that is shown in the next page. Please show me the next page. Yeah. From here, the mold comes out from the machine. This process is known as mold collecting. Here you can see the mold are collected in a bucket. Then it is goes for waiting process that is shown in the next page. Please show us. Yeah, here is the waiting process. So in this process, we bring the mold in the weight measurement machine. Here we measure the mold and cut the pieces into the different types of weighting as we want, or say a proper weight of mold. Come to the next. So then we put the mold in the molding machine, and then it's
Continue.
hello. So by
Continue.
squeezing and compressing the mixture to create a texture that can be poured into any mold. So this is the molding machine, mold making machine, and we put the mold into the position, and then this machine squeeze and compress the mold to shape, to give it shape like a brick or pavement block. Come to the next page. Here you can see the process. This machine operated by a person that you can see in the page. Number one, the squeezing machine comes and compress this mold, and then the bricks are compressed and shaped as it like, then comes from this machine. Please show us the next page. So then after compressing, we cool it in the water. This process is known as cooling. You can see here the cooling process. Okay, next page, please. So after cooling down in water, the bricks are ready to use. You can see the bricks, the silica plastic blocks. Come to the next page. So here are the advantages of silica plastic blocks. So these plastic blocks are found to be 2.5 times strength of normal red clay bricks. So these bricks are 2.5 times harder or strengther than the normal red clay bricks that we use in the construction traditionally. So the next advantage is these plastic blocks were found to be 700 grams lighter in weight than the normal clay bricks. So we can know that the normal red clay bricks are near about 2.7 kg, and these plastic blocks become after making process, its weight become 2 kg. That's why this is 700 grams lighter than the red clay bricks. So next, it consume around 70 to 80% of foundry dust with 80% lesser use of natural resources. So though we use the foundry dust maximum, that's why the 70 to 80% foundry dust has become recycled or say upcycled. And in this process, natural resources use of natural resources is minimum. That is 80% lesser than the making process of the normal red clay bricks. So then it reduces the plastic waste from the society by upscaling them, sorry, upcycling them, so that the plastic pollution also be reduced. So these bricks made from plastic waste, that's why the plastic pollution become reduced from the society. So come to the next point, that is disadvantages. So us the next page. Yeah. So disadvantages, it's initial making cost or say making setup cost is high. The space requirement is more for the storage purpose. To store the waste, there's required high space. This is a disadvantage. And then the capital investment is high to start up this type of company. The capital investment for buying new machines and the setup and the lands, etc., are high than the other bricks making company. Then the research and development is need to improve its application in construction. It is in research and development stage, and that's why we don't use it, or say we uh, till now we don't use in the high construction areas. We can use it only to make toilets and many more short projects. That's why architect and civil engineer needs to develop or say research and develop in its designing and making process. So come to the next page, the future scope. We know that the sanitization is a big problem in rural and suburban areas. Even today, there are so many places where washroom facility are not available. So think if we make the toilet by using these bricks, then so many problem will be solved. Firstly, the foundry waste will be used. Second, plastic can be upcycled. And the third, many toilets can be built in India. That's a very big project for us. In the Swachh Bharat Abhijan, we can use these bricks to make toilets in everywhere. That is need for India's rural and suburban areas. And by using the process, the plastics and foundry dust become recycled, and that's a big point of this project. So come to the next page, the conclusion. The silica plastic blocks is a unique and successful item that reduce environmental pollution, mainly the plastic pollution and the industrial hazardous pollution. And also this brick can use in replace of normal red clay bricks and many more items in the construction purpose. Come to the next page. At the end, I show the acknowledgement, the especially thanks to Mr. Somojit Ghorai, Honorable Assistant Professor, Department of Basic Science, for his vision and planning, and also to my friend and classmates for helping me in such a ways. Next page. The references are here. I collect I collect the information from the designboom.com and the YouTube channel that Anuj Ramatri and the Manish Kothari Sirji YouTube channel. This brings me about the project of this Silica plastic blocks. The Manish Kothari is a manager of Rhino Machine Private Limited. And comes to the next. Thanks to all.
Okay,
Thank you
very good.
so much. Yeah, my
Very good.
presentation is